everyone, it's Dr. Isabel from Doctoronamission.com, and I am so excited that you're here with me right now. Let's talk about my favorite topic. Fat is good for you. I got a question for you. How do you tell the world that fat is good for them? I mean, we have been taught over the last 60 years that fat is bad for us and it causes heart attacks. Yeah, well, guess what? The latest research has shown that we have had it wrong all along. What we have found over 2 articles is that fat is actually good for us and that it doesn't cause heart attacks. You know what the problem that's causing heart attack? Sugar. Yes, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit more on this board. But I have to say, I have been so frustrated as a doctor. I've been a doctor now in frontline medicine for 23 years, and I get so frustrated when I've got mothers coming in with me with their young ones, 10 years old, who are obese, and they're getting bullied at school, and the mother says, "But doc, I've got my child on a low-fat diet for all these years and nothing's working. Nothing's working." Nothing hurts my soul, my heart, more than anything, letting that mother know, you know what? We've had it all wrong. Low fat is not the problem. It's sugar. So let's talk about how we can change our life by changing the way we're eating and the way we're looking at things. The first thing I want to say is I'd like to talk to you about 2 new articles that have just come up. And for my medical colleagues, I just want to let you know that those 2 articles, the first one is from BMJ, that's the British Medical Journal, and that just came out in October of 2013. And the second article that's just come out to kind of blow our minds out of the water in the medical field is from JAMA Internal Medicine. That's Journal of American Medical Association Internal Medicine, and that was this year, February 2014. And this is what it's shown. The first thing is we need to take a look at sugar. Sugar is causing inflammation. And what's inflammation? I'll give you a picture of what inflammation looks like. Inflammation is causing the big problem, such as heart attacks. It's causing cancer. It's causing type 2 diabetes. It's even causing lung disease. Inflammation is causing Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's disease is actually being called type 3 diabetes. Alzheimer's, type 3 diabetes. Inflammation is also causing autoimmune disease and arthritis. Yes, all that is caused by inflammation. So let's take a look at what sugar is really doing, because our minds have been opened up now about what sugar's doing. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is what sugar does. Sugar is kind of like a stiff brush. So imagine, if you will, that I've got a stiff brush in my hand and I've got my arm. And over time, I'm using that stiff brush to rub up against my arm. And if I stop after about 5 minutes, what I'm going to have on my arm is bleeding and I'm going to have inflammation. And what the body's going to do is it's going to make a scab and it'll heal. Okay? The stiff brush will, after a while, the scab will cause healing, okay? Now, imagine that this stiff brush starts rubbing for years and years and years. And imagine that this is not my arm. This is a blood vessel going to the heart, sending blood into that heart, blood with oxygen and nutrients to feed the heart to make it pump. Okay, so imagine you've got this vessel and you've got this stiff brush rubbing. Let's take a look at what's going on inside that vessel. That vessel now is bleeding and it gets sticky. And all along comes cholesterol. And cholesterol hooks on there, and after a while, it kind of blocks the whole vessel going to the heart. But guess what? The cholesterol's not the problem, it's the stiff brush. And guess what the primary stiff brush is? Sugar. Sugar is causing inflammation, which causes it to be sticky, which causes the cholesterol to hook up, which causes blockage in the artery that goes to the heart. And that's how you have a heart attack. It's the stiff brush. Isn't that amazing? I just learned that in the last couple years. It blew my mind. Let's look at sugar also. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Sugar kind of stimulates this hormone in our brain called dopamine. And dopamine is kind of if I can explain it as, dopamine's that chemical that makes you feel in love, and it's kind of like you're on speed, like you've had a nice cup of coffee. It's a good feeling, and you want to feel that for a long period of time. Well, that's what sugar does. Sugar makes you feel happy and in love. So, of course, once that sugar buzz goes down, we want more. And you know what? The food companies know that. Another thing about sugar is fat does not cause us to be fat. Sugar causes us to be fat because it stores belly fat. And on another video, I promise you, I will get into the details about how that happens. It's amazing. The next thing about sugar is, remember how I told you that the food companies are using sugar? I mean, when you got a low-fat food, it doesn't taste very good. It kind of tastes like cardboard. So what do? They put in sugar, they put a little salt, blah, 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 and soon, before you know it, you got a low-fat food full of sugar and fat. Okay, it's low-fat, but now it's got sugar in it, and sugar causes belly fat. And another thing is the food companies have figured out that we're onto this because you and me, we're getting smart. You and me are reclaiming our health. We're going to reclaim our health to help us get healthier because health is our #1 asset. And the food companies know this, and so they've changed sugar to be named 50 different names. So there's more than 50 different names for sugar. Yeah, 50 different names. And it's growing. And I just want to share one bit of information that came out of those 2 articles with you. Remember, I'm just the messenger, okay? I'm just the doctor on a mission to help you and your family get healthy. This study showed that one bottle of soda per day increases our risk of having a heart attack by 30%. How many people are drinking one of these a day thinking that this is okay? It's not. It's actually killing us. Like my husband said, Chef Michael from Doctoronamission, he says it's kind of like a slow suicide. And you know what? He's right. It is a slow suicide drinking sugar every day. Remember, I'm just the messenger, okay? Okay, let's talk about, Doc, what is a good fat? Oh, good question. Good fats are saturated fats, okay? And later on in another video, I'll talk to you the difference between good fats and bad fats. But just for this video, so you've got something, good fats are good because they decrease our hunger. Actually, when we eat fat, it makes us less hungry, so we're not looking for food all the time. I don't know about you, but I've been on a low-fat diet, and when I eat a low-fat diet, I was hungry like every 1.5 to 2 hours. Well, now I know that it's because there was no fat in there, and fat decreases our hunger. So types of good fats that I'd like to leave you with is things like coconut oil, avocado, raw nuts and seeds. And the reason I say raw nuts and seeds is because when you roast things or when you put salt on it, it actually denaturizes it. It's not as nutritious as when they're raw. So raw nuts and seeds are good fats. Also, let's take a look at the meat department. So when I'm talking about good fats are also free-range eggs. Yeah, free-range eggs. Eggs are good for us. Eggs don't cause us to have heart attack. Yeah, I know. It blew my mind too. Also, grass-fed beef, chicken, pork, and lamb are good for us. And also wild fish. So there you have it. A little bit of information for you to have in your home. I am so excited to share this information with you. And look, I know that this can be overwhelming. It was for me. I mean, look, I've been a doctor now for 23 years, and I was like, wait a minute, this can't be, but it is. Let's take a look at what is out there. We have been on a low-fat diet for 60 years and more, and we are not getting less fat. We are getting wider and wider as a nation. The world is getting fatter and fatter, and we've got more and more disease, like high blood pressure, diabetes, on and on and on, like I talked about right here. And I was like, wait a minute, my patients aren't getting any healthier. My patients are actually getting unhealthy and sicker. And what is going on? We've got to do something differently about this. So what I want to leave you with is that at Doctor on a Mission, our mission is to help you reclaim your health. And how do we do that? By giving you tools to reclaim your health, bit by bit. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. Don't be overwhelmed. You and me, we are walking through this together, okay? That's why I'm here. Now, if you like what you saw, I know you are going to love what I got for you in store. I've got free videos from our very own Doctor on a Mission, Chef Michael, trained at the Culinary Academy in San Francisco. Plus, he's my husband. Yeah, at Doctor on a Mission. He's going to be giving us videos on how to reclaim our kitchen. Plus, I'm creating more videos to help you reclaim your health, plus free newsletters and much, much more. So if you want to stay in contact with me, which I hope you do because I want to stay connected into your family, all you got to do is one thing. Leave your name and your email so that you can receive all these goodies that I've got for you. Well, that's it from me. It's been nice talking to you and having you with me, talking and learning some stuff. But before we leave, I want to leave you with a thought. Let's make a difference. Let's love unconditionally and let us forgive frequently. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.